So if we can form this huge circle, we can, be one with ourselves.
As you see, when we keep together, we get progress, and we keep going.
The more I started realizing that everything really does happen for a reason.
Find 5 things to be grateful for every day.
Some people dream of success while others wake up every day and chase it.
At any particular time, Pinnacle is more of a movement about what...
Quite powerful. If we listen, we will be delivered to love.
It's amazing what this team can do. It really is.
Persistent imagination centered around the wish already being fulfilled is the key to all successful operations. So,
do the things that you love, and really just enjoy yourself.
We've been given a tremendous opportunity to really make the future what we want here.
all right, so this is Pinnacle Talk number 13. 13. This is Tim Earle. Tim is, he started in September of 2016. And we had a couple heart-to-hearts about joining Pinnacle at Six Flags a couple months prior to this.
I had one at Splash Station.
He had one at Splash Station, so I gave him the job description. And
they know the secret to my heart is
both of those
theme parks and water parks.
Hey Chris,
anything to
we
make a
left both of those with the answer of no way.
Yeah, no, I called you. I wrote it down. It's not gonna
he
work.
says he doesn't have one skill.
Yeah, but Tim is known to be the jack of all trades, master of all trades. So he's been a huge asset to Pinnacle. He's been one of the smartest guys I know. Just knows how to do everything. So he's also my brother-in-law, Bill's brother-in-law. The guy you can trust completely, and I'll just leave number 13 up to Tim. Take it away.
Thank you, Chris. You're already throwing me off because I expected Bill to introduce me, and I had a very great one-liner. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. No, it's no secret that I'm not the world's biggest fan of these. I don't like talking in front of an audience. In fact, I've really only done it twice outside of the classroom, and both of them involved alcohol. One was at Bill's wedding, and the other one was at our Christmas party when I told you that I all loved you. I can't do alcohol today, one, because we're at work, and Bobby already used the distract you guys with alcohol technique last time. So coming up with the topic is hard. It's really hard. And I know I have an easy go-to with the whole cancer thing, which, spoiler alert, Dawn, I had cancer. For the last 2 years, I've kind of been on and off the cancer train. No, that's a real thing. But I had kind of already done that talk at the Pinnacle party, and I didn't want to do it again. There's kind of a feeling of like, dude, we get it. You got cancer. Like, can we move on? No, I already am feeling that way. Like, I get it. But I do want to say that I had my doctor's appointment yesterday. Technically, my 8-month follow-up after chemo was done. 8 months cancer-free. Hopefully that's the last time I mention the word cancer in this talk. That's my goal. When trying to come up with an idea of what I wanted to talk about, I was very close to doing a Saturday Night Live sketch parody of the real estate show.
Oh, that would have been the best.
And I think we should do that eventually. I just don't think maybe for a Pinnacle Talk it's appropriate. Bobby was going to be my guest, and it was going to be hilarious. But we'll save that for another time. I also considered, with it being March, and today being the first day of the Big 12 tournament, I thought maybe today would be, or right now would be a perfect time to get you guys to agree to fill out your brackets next week, because that's happening. Again, didn't think that was appropriate for a Pinnacle Talk. No, I wanted to come up with something that was, I don't really want to say impactful, because who the hell do I think I am that I can come up with something like that? But something with a little bit more meaning that didn't involve the C word, because I think that was maybe an expectation. I think this Pinnacle Talk was getting low-key a little too hyped. Didn't like it. Um, the Pinnacle Talk was too hyped. That's how I really feel. This one. I wanted to come up with something that meant something special to me and maybe something that could be related with you guys. And the idea of having idols and or a hero, something like that kept popping up in my mind. And will you shut up? Like, please. I thought that was a really great idea for Pinnacle Talk, something for us to all think of somebody that we aspire to be like or can be a hero to us or something like that. And so I started thinking, who do I consider to be my heroes? And I could very easily say Bill Lally.
Thank you.
You can cut that out, Tan. No, I could very easily say Rocky. Rocky's a very easy one. We see that quote, it's not about how hard you hit quote. We see it all the time on Facebook. You'll pop it up on some sort of meme video, like for a motivational video type deal. Or you'll see it at every single sporting event, at every single arena at the end of the game, like with a minute left, trying to get the home team riled up. That speech, it's really intense and it could be very motivating. But I didn't want to choose Rocky because he's a fictional character, a little too corny, didn't like it. So I was thinking somebody else, and everybody knows that I love professional wrestling. I could very easily say Hulk Hogan.
Backing up. Got him with the ball. He knows.
But to say that Hulk Hogan is my hero and idol in the year 2018 is risky, to say the least. So I wanted to think a bit harder, who's my hero? And as shocking as it may seem to the people who actually know him, my hero is without question my dad, Richard Dick the Hammer Earle. He is, that might not mean anything to those of you who don't know him. It probably shouldn't be too much of a surprise for a son to say that his dad is his hero. But we don't get along the best. We butt heads quite a bit. Probably not too shocking when it's a 28-year-old son still living with his parents. It's probably not too much of a surprise that you're butting heads with your dad. But the truth is, the guy is amazing. He comes off irritable and crabby and easily annoyed. Kind of sounds like me. Except he's 35 years older than me, half my size, but he's 100 times stronger in every single way. He's had at least 2 jobs my entire life. He has 3 jobs currently. He has been living off of, a half hour of sleep a day for 30 years? He'll go to work, he'll come home, get a quick nap, go to his other job, come home, run off to do a fence or deck bid for my cousin's friend's girlfriend's favorite pizza delivery guy. The guy does everything. He is truly a jack of all trades, master of all trades. And he's somebody that I am so proud of. I know he's proud of me for what I've had to go through. When he married my mom, he took on 2 daughters, raised them as his own. And they became amazing women, 2 of the smartest women I've ever known in my entire life, 2 of the best moms I've ever known. They married idiots, but that's fine. But he worked really hard, and he always made a very strong effort to make my life and my brother T's life and Jamie's life and Julie's life as good as it could possibly be, despite sacrificing his own, basically. He stopped going out. He gave up bowling, which he loved bowling. He gave it all up so that he could make it easier on us. And he taught us a tremendous value in that work is important, but it's important for your family. It's important that you're doing it for the betterment of your family. He didn't you know, he'd come home and he'd be crabby and all that, but he didn't shut us off. He'd be at every baseball game. He'd be at every basketball game. He'd be at every soccer game. If we wanted to go see the monster trucks, he'd go with us. If we wanted to go see wrestling or the Rocky movie that came out in 2006, we all went to go see it the night of, despite I'm knowing he wanted to go to sleep. That's all I wanted to do. We went to go see it at midnight. I worked side by side with him in 2 separate jobs, one at a warehouse and one at my old grade school, and I got to see this man work firsthand. And you know, we'd host family parties at home every weekend, which is really his only kind of time off. And he'd be sitting there and he'd be, you know, he'd just be quiet and keeping to himself and watching whatever was on TV, and then he'd fall asleep. And then somebody would be like, why is he always so grumpy? Why is he tired? What's going on? I'm like, dude, he's tired. He's been working nonstop for 30 years. Like, let him do it. It's fine. I don't know. I'm just very happy that I can go home every day to see him, and even if it's just for like 45 minutes before he has to roll off to work again overnight. I'm proud of him. I'm grateful for him. But really, like, my biggest problem with coming up with this topic of being the hero and all that was, how do you close it? What's the point? We get it, Tim. You like your dad. That's awesome. Good for you. But what's the point? And my point, and this is actually where it ends. It literally says, so what's my point? So I don't have this part even kind of figured out. My point was that he showed us the right way to live a life, the right way to provide for a family. And Chris and Bill have given me a very tremendous opportunity in that I will be able to do that for my, God knows if a family is actually a thing in my future, but they've given me the opportunity to where I can do the same thing he's done without the need of having to do it with multiple jobs. I'll be able to work a normal 9 to 5, go home, have dinner with my kids, read them a bedtime story, go to every single one of their games, whatever. I don't know. I'm proud of them. That's all I got.